the Milwaukee Bucks over under 42.5. They were 48-34 last year. They turned Lopez into Miles Turner. They turned Dame Lillard into Cole Anthony. And they turned Connaughton into Coffey and Harris. And they're deep. And they're a sneaky, great shooting team, Zach.
I think this team actually makes more sense than last year's team. Like Turner coming in makes it absolutely seamless. He's an improvement over Brook Lopez.
I mean, a huge improvement. I didn't think Brook was good last year.
He was fine.
Portis, like he's born with that chip.
Cole Anthony, how about I was a six-man of the year candidate a hot minute ago.
I was giving away. Yeah. I'm fine. Like, I think Cole Anthony could play crunch time for them.
Five-minute pod. We are back. Actually, just 5 minutes. What a great Bucks game. What a great two Bucks games. The only thing I want to say, man, and I guess we forget about the last 20 games or whatever it was last year, where the similar comments, no doubt, I said about the last 20 games, and then it got weird because then when Dame came back, we went back to the same problem. This is what I want. This is actual NBA basketball. This is not frictionless basketball. This is wonderful. It'd be wonderful if we were 0-2. Basketball is better when you have athletic Cole Anthony players like what, again, to me, and Porter when he comes back, and these kind of guys flying around, being the underdog, like actually risking something, actually making incredible plays, actually making death-defying backdoors. But it's great. And so I don't need to belabor this point, but I just want to say this as people immediately game one push the, hey, maybe we can get Chris Middleton. Wouldn't it be great if we could get Chris Middleton at the buyout? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be awesome if we could get him back? But this is probably a little bit more about Brook Lopez. And this is the thing. And Miles Turner didn't score a lot this game. I don't know if he's had it. We know he can hit those shots. It's probably three things. So it's probably three things that I want to say. In no particular order. Again, we're not going to caveat this too much. Caveat, won a title with Brook Lopez, won a title with Drew Holiday, won a title with Pat Connaughton, won a title with Chris Middleton, won a title with all these guys, won a title with Bobby Portis, who we'll talk bad about if I remember, right? Goated forever, right? Never be this good. Heaven must be like this. All that. Put that to the side. Brook Lopez was a completely different player, and Budenholzer, to his credit, figured out this whole other lane for this guy. We got him for nothing, right? But his lane became, or what he was instructed to, or whatever, just don't think about it, just shoot. We're taking the analysis out of your game. So you're going to shoot with 16 seconds on the clock. You're going to shoot the first good look you get every single time. And, I have a lot of love for how hard he played, as well as he could 2023, some of 2024, whatever the time was. Everybody remembers when he was basically Defensive Player of the Year. He showed up. He's a great all-time Buck. Yada, yada, yada. He's holding us back, man. He was holding us back. Dame was holding us back. Chris was certainly holding us back. And all that's over now. And whatever happens with this season, these are competitive, interesting NBA games. I'm happy to spend my time. So last season, because I looked this up, last season we won, forget if Embiid played, we won game 1 against the Sixers, and games 2 and 4 were complete jokes. And I'm sure I podcasted or tweeted or YouTubed it or whatever we did at that point, and it was like, this is gross, this is sick, wake me up when they start trying. Game 2 against a nothing Hawks team, we gave up 127 points. And then game 4 against the Raptors, we gave up 130 points. So we lost both those games against nothing teams because the Griffin and Doc Bucks and half of the Budenholzer Bucks just couldn't care less about whether you spent your money on the game or any of it. Just couldn't care less. I don't particularly think that's all Brook Lopez's fault. I don't particularly think that's all Chris Middleton's fault, but it just is what it is. Like, you can't win with old, slow veterans. And compounding, so if that's point one, I don't know what point that is. Point two is we always have had too many hero ball players. Always, because Giannis is a hero ball player, so how many Westbrooks can you have? History of the NBA is like maybe two. Maybe everything aligned and maybe two. It's really hard to have three. Like, low-key, the Isaiah Thomas, Chris Paul, like actual good point guard types, that's why they never put up the Iverson numbers, because it doesn't work if they're all, like, that's why Iverson never won anything, because you have to defer and it'll jack up your averages. Like, you may have, I think Cassell kind of learned this. You may have the craziest 28-point game that might have been like 44, but that's like not your job. And so we had hero ball Chris Middleton. So the only way he could be effective is stopping the ball and doing hero ball stuff. And Drew Holiday got really good at it, especially in regular seasons, doing that. And we had hero ball Eric Bledsoe. And we had hero ball Brook Lopez, who, no shade, just had feet of cement. Especially the last couple of years. And became unplayable in a lot of scenarios. So that's what it was. How about we all agree let's never go back to that? Can we all agree we don't ever want to go back to that? And the thing I love, like, obviously I'm in the bag for Miles Turner because I never saw him miss a shot for the Pacers, but putting that aside, he actually thinks the game. He gets this ball and he pumps fakes or he shoots. It's not Brook Lopez where he's just going to shoot because he's got it. Hey, I can shoot from 35 feet, so this is going to be my chance to shoot, so I'm going to do it. Like, that's not his game. And he's really deferring. And for now, nobody seems to be playing for stats. We know Porter's hurt. We know Kuzma's hurt. Kuzma playing great. As I said last year, where he became the slowest antelope for everybody's problems. Kuzma playing great. Hope his ankle's okay. Porter looked great. Hope his ankle's okay. But either way, guys are in the passing lanes. Guys are not just conceding. And the thing that was just so offensive for all that time was guys just conceding. And we were lied to by the media and the influencers and the team and everything else. Just saying, well, it's basketball. You got to concede something. Don't you? You got to concede. You just got to concede some of these threes. You just got to give that up. We just got to give up these shots. There's always some shot we had to give up. No, we had to give up those shots because Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez were on the floor. And Portis and all the other guys that we had. And we had old, slow vets. And sometimes disinterested, lazy, poor conditioning, poor positioning vets, whatever. And then every year in the playoffs, like, teams will build a wall against Giannis and sort of concede some stuff. But, like, we watch the Bucks. Like, teams don't concede stuff to us. It's not a ton of open shots, especially in the playoffs. You don't have to concede anything. You need young guys who play the passing lanes, who contest on the way up the floor, who bump, who do the little things. Like, that works. It's not necessarily a championship recipe. At a certain point, you need, like, the players. But this is awesome to watch, and it doesn't insult my intelligence. So, like, what's wrong with that? Now, the turnovers and the missed free throw, I mean, again, whatever. It's a lot of really bad stuff, turnover-wise. If it wasn't for the turnovers, we'd have won by 40. But also, let's be fair, this is also what you get when you play harder, right? It's what you get. Perhaps, so I said this was going to be 5 minutes, we can just probably stop. Man, there's so many stories. I feel like some 2-3 podcasts ago, really didn't podcast throughout the summer, and I gave my gambling take. Maybe it was a podcast before the Andor podcast, so you know about all that. I'm looking pretty vindicated on that. Like, how could it not be this way? The incentives are what they are. How could this not be that way? I'd be really excited if this story. I'll jump back on in an hour if this actually points. Just like I said with Beasley, it doesn't actually point to Beasley. It doesn't actually point to him shaving points with the Bucks. And this other story doesn't actually point to LeBron. Although the Bucks-Lakers game being a part of it is kind of a hilarious aspect. But it's fun. But it's a symptom of, the only other thing I'll say, all of that was a symptom to me. The original sin was tanking. The original sin was not caring about every single minute of every single game and every single practice, right? So you just get, so what is sports, right? We'll do 1 minute on this. I'll stop. I got to go to bed. Like sports kind of is an extension of war, is an extension of like at its basis form, sports is like war. You have a battle so your village doesn't get pillaged, right? And so you can extend that and say like a home game is where you defend your village, and like an away game is where you try to pillage somebody else's village. But like only really high school, even since I've been alive, only really high school sports maintains that kind of idea, because in high school sports, at least, like you're going to that at the end of the day, whether they bust the dudes in or whatever the case, like those guys went to your school. College a little bit less. It's not exactly the same, but again, you probably still, if you still went to that college, it means something. And then pros is a whole nother level, a whole nother level of abstraction, where it's just people who happen to be playing in the city that's near you or that you live in. But the point to me is like, once we accepted that tanking wasn't just a thing that was kind of whispered, that maybe you could say right at the end, hey, it's better if we lose these games. Once tanking for like, we're going to tank, once the Sixers thing, where it's like, we're going to tank for 3 years, we're not going to care about these games at all, and we're going to telegraph to everyone that we're going to tank. I mean, it's just as bad as gambling. And all these little 5% and 2% added up to kind of the current culture. But then again, it's just kind of fun just to blame it all on clutch. That's fun too. Packers play the Steelers. You don't want to hear my Brewers takes. The actual kiss of death is when I buy Sling for a month. I bought Sling for a month to watch the Brewers, and I saw the Cubs series, and then just like lost. Like whenever I buy, like I bought Sling last year, and the Bucks Pacers happened. And at a certain, one more take, because I really think this is important as anything else I said, of which none of it's important. It is impossible. It is not possible to have the greatest performance that anyone has ever seen in a game 4 when you're up 3-0. There is no logical way that can ever take place. You were up 3-0. Not because it's not incredible, but just by definition, there were other things in the history of whatever sport we happen to be talking about, in this case baseball. There were other things that happened in Game 7s, and Game 6s, and Game 5s. So, whatever you do up 3-0, boy, that's really interesting. And I think, and it's certainly in the pantheon, because it will be a memorable game. It's a crazy game. I hate where games where we lose become these signature games. Like I hated when the Wade alley-oop to LeBron just became this thing. Every fan base has an equal amount of that. If you do that up 3-0, it simply cannot be the greatest performance anyone has ever seen. Just by definition. It cannot be. Packers Steelers. Still pretty bullish on the Packers. Actually. I think the thing at this point, they don't look that good visually, but at the same time, they should have won every game. They won the games that they won, and then the games that they didn't win or tied, they should have won, and they were up big. Took the foot off the gas against the Browns, took the foot off the gas against the Cowboys. Still very entertaining. But this is just about the way. So, whether people listen or share to this or anything, like I'm kind of beyond asking. I'll record when I'll record. I'll put it out. Listen or don't, whatever. But there are takes to be made. I would like, the thing about any kind of great big story like the gambling story or anything else is it's way more fun to get everybody together to talk about it, so I don't have to like research it and know every single thing about a story. It's just more fun to get everybody together and be like, what is this clutch story? The X-ray table that reads the cards and all of, I've been really busy today. I've gotten like bits and drips and drabs of this. Just a wild story. And like crossed over. It's crossing over to like news, like your network news. It's leading network news. It's crazy, crazy story. And this is what you get. This is what you get when you wanted like a pencil pushing, paper pushing banker lawyer, you know, whatever that is. Adam, so this is what you get. This is what happens. We've been saying it the whole time. And so the comeuppance is sweet, but like, look at what we've lost. At the same time, all I need is a little bit of friction in my basketball, man. All I need is from the swallow the whistle sometime. All I need is, like, again, some of the calls at the end of the Rapper game were kind of ridiculous, but even the SGA foul merchant narrative that's going now, like, it's good. Like, we need to have these conversations. These conversations should have been had a long time ago. They were, but they were kind of suppressed. And like Pacers Thunder, great series. It's not hard. I just need to watch competitive basketball. And frankly, you saw this tonight too. Like, I don't need the game stopped every 5 seconds for free throws. Part of what makes basketball an endurance contest is just them going back and forth like two heavyweights, just running up and down, making a play, jumping, blocking, tipping, getting it back, getting a rebound, putting it up, then sprinting back for the outlet. That's what makes it interesting, man. That's one of the things. It's not just somebody makes a move, they call a call. Somebody makes a move, they call a call. Somebody makes a move, there's a review on the call. But quit stopping the game. Whatever. Great night. This Bucks team so far, like, I'm going to try to watch it. Like, you want to watch every game. I want to watch every game with this team so far. And I just wanted to record before this falls off the cliff or something else bad happens. Great job. Great job. That's it. Zip it up. Zip it out.
Giannis with the kick out. Look at that up fake. Oh,